Welcome back to the channel. Today is Friday, March 7th, and we have got 8 games today in the National Basketball Association. We're going to predict every single one of them like we've been doing all year long. Headlined tonight by the San Antonio Spurs and the Sacramento Kings. Now, on paper, not a great game, but it is De'Aaron Fox's return to the Golden One Center in Sacramento, California, and you would think that game's going on national television tonight. Nope. The Phoenix Suns and the Denver Nuggets no defense game is going on ESPN instead. And we have to watch the Dallas Mavericks on national television tonight as well. Why? I don't know. But we've got 8 games today in the NBA, and folks, before we get into the predictions, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. Earlier today, 3 hours ago, we posted our college basketball best bets. Make sure to check that video out. That is linked in the description down below, along with our UFC 313 Pereira versus Ankalaev predictions. It's the first video on Greedo Plays MMA, so make sure to check that video out and subscribe to Greedo Plays MMA while you are at it as well. Okay, let's move on to the first of our 8 games today, and we start things off with a 17.5 point favorite. They are the Cleveland Cavaliers going to Charlotte, North Carolina to take on the Charlotte Hornets. My goodness, 17.5. This is embarrassing for a professional basketball team that actually only lost to the Wolves 2 nights ago by 15. So we got to give it up for the Hornets. Guys, this team still has not won a game since their Twitter account tweeted, "This team is special heart emoji," after beating the Lakers. They thought they were popping the champagne with the water bottles after, that was horrible, after they beat the Lakers, and they haven't won since. And I'm convinced the Hornets will not win a game the rest of the season. They're obviously losing the Cavs. This game could be played on Mars. It could be played in Cleveland and Charlotte. The Cavaliers are winning this game. Cleveland is on a huge winning streak, and that winning streak is not ending tonight. Again, this team has not lost since February 4th when they lost to the Boston Celtics. This team's on a 12-game winning streak. It will be 13 tonight, regardless of who's on the court for Cleveland. And oh, by the way, yeah, they're completely healthy going into this game. We'll see if LaMelo Ball plays. He's questionable. Same with Nick Smith. Same with Josh Green. Mark Williams, I think, is out, which, again, that happens with Mark Williams sometimes. But, yeah, the Cavaliers are obviously winning this basketball game. I'm not going to pay too much attention to it because it's the Hornets, who right now feel like the worst team in the NBA. Maybe the Utah Jazz, because the Utah Jazz are actively trying to lose and actively trying to get a better draft pick. Do the Jazz and Hornets have a game scheduled yet? Yes, they still do. Ultimate Tankathon, March 31st in Charlotte. Maybe we'll see a team forfeit for the first time in NBA history. It'll probably be the Jazz. I don't know, because the Jazz are really trying to lose. More on them later, but with this specific game, yes, Cleveland minus 17.5 in the win. I would personally not play it because 17.5 point spreads are ridiculous, and I hate sweating these out. So I wouldn't play it, but yes, we pick every single game. Cavs spread, Cavs money line at 1,800. Wow. And here is the other garbage team. We go to the 6th, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The Toronto Raptors host the Utah Jazz. Raptors spread, Raptors money line. The Raptors are coming off back-to-back victories in Orlando, Florida over the Orlando Magic. The Magic with another loss yesterday to the Chicago Bulls. But anyways, the Raptors with 2 big victories. They win the 2 games against Orlando by a combined 3 points. But hey, those are 2 victories for the Raptors as they now find themselves only... they're actually 5 games out the play-in now because of the Bulls' victory. But yeah, it's probably going to be the Bulls as the last team in the play-in. But regardless, the Raptors, right, they have been winning basketball games, and I would expect them to run right through the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz are actively trying to lose. Their injury report is extensive like it always is. No Jordan Clarkson tonight, no John Collins, no Markkanen. Keontae George has developed an illness, so he's probably not going to play. Jaden Springer questionable. I'm surprised Walker Kessler isn't on this either, but still, they're missing so many players, and the Toronto Raptors are actually putting out a half-competent team. No, they're matching. Oh, they're matching them. Wow, they're matching them in Tankathon level. Wow. Chris Boucher is probable, but Abaji out. RJ Barrett out. Jakob Poeltl resting. Grady Dick's obviously out for a while. Brandon Ingram still not back. Jonathan Mobo out. Wow, it's an ultimate tankathon, but the Raptors still have better players. IQ's playing, Scotty Barnes is playing, Jacoby Walters still playing, who had a big shot, obviously, in the Orlando game. I like Jamal Shed, the rookie out of Houston, a lot. He's still, he's a very experienced guy. He's still getting used to the NBA, but I like Jamal Shed a lot. Yeah, I think the Raptors should still be able to win. This game, A, it's in Toronto. B, Scotty's still playing. IQ's still playing. And the Jazz, they really want to lose. Like, they're trying their hardest to lose basketball games. Yes, Walker Kessler's playing, but, they're starting Isaiah Collier, Colin Sexton, Cody Williams, KJ Martin, and then Kessler. That's not a winning formula. It's just not. I think Toronto's obviously the better basketball team. I wouldn't say obviously, but they do feel like the better team, and the Jazz again are 15-47. The Raps are 20-42. So slightly better are the Raptors. They've got 5 more wins in the regular season, and again, the game's being played in Canada. The Jazz have lost 3 in a row. The Raptors have actually won 2 in a row. Can't believe I'm saying this, but give me the Toronto Raptors to win their 3rd consecutive game at home tonight against the Utah Jazz. We go on to our 3rd game of the day, and we move to Dallas, Texas. This game's on ESPN. Yep, the Mavs, who I feel more and more confident this team is going to fall out the plan. So currently the Mavericks still have a record over 500. They are 32-31. They have 2.5 games on the Phoenix Suns, and they've got 4 games on the Portland Trailblazers. And somehow they've only got 4.5 on the San Antonio Spurs as well. Obviously, the team that we think is going to catch them is going to be the Phoenix Suns, but Portland has a very winnable spot later today, and we'll get to that in a couple minutes. Dallas is going to keep losing, though, and that's obvious. I don't think Anthony Davis is going to play another game this season, and guys, I think there's a chance, again, Kyrie Irving's played his last game as a Maverick, and Anthony Davis has also played his last game as a Maverick. And I know what you're thinking. AD's only played 1 game with Dallas. Yeah, I think he might literally only play 1 game with this team. I have a feeling the Mavs are going to completely blow things up in the offseason. And that is credited to the Kyrie injury, because before we thought, all right, Kyrie and AD are going to try and make that playoff push, obviously, this season. Maybe they'll try to bring in a Kevin Durant in the offseason, who's now being tied to the Los Angeles Lakers, which I don't know if I like that. I love KD as a player. KD, again, is a pure hooper, right? Nothing but ball in KD's life. I don't know if I want him in Los Angeles right now. I just don't. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the Lakers playoff run goes. But I really like Rui Hachimura. I'm not saying I choose Rui over KD. It's just fit-wise. Does KD fit with LeBron and Luka? Or are we just going to screw things up and screw up the cap? Because, yeah, if they could bring in KD, but then you can't pay Hayes, you can't pay Hachimura anymore, likely can't hold on to AR, who's going to need to get paid, who's getting paid, obviously, right? I don't know. I'd rather have a deep team than, okay, our starting lineup's great, and run into the same problem the Phoenix Suns really ran into. Yeah, we have 3 stars in Beal, Booker, and Durant. 1, they don't play well together, and B, there's no defense, and C, well, we have no cap to bring in a bench, so we're playing Ryan Dunn in our starting lineup, right? I don't know if I want that. Anyways, we'll see where KD goes in the offseason, but I think the Mavs are out now of him because I don't think Kyrie's coming back. I don't think they're going to sign him, especially coming off the injury. And Anthony Davis, I think they're just going to trade. So this team is screwed. And then on top of that, guys, they have so many injuries right now. So on top of Kyrie, Davis, Gadford, Lively, and Jaden Hardy, who are out for extended periods of time, Exum's questionable tonight. PJ Washington's out. Oliver Prosper is out. Caleb Martin's questionable, and Kai Jones is out. What the hell do the Mavs even have? Shout out to Klay Thompson, who's been playing playing pretty much every single night. But they're going to be running with Dinwiddie, Max Christie, Klay, Najee Marshall, Dwight Powell. That's horrible, man. That team could have been like maybe won 30 games in 2015, 2016. God, the Grizz have lost 4 in a row, right? Shea drops 40 a couple nights ago, 41. Against Memphis. So the Grizz are coming off 4 straight losses. Again, prior to the OKC loss, it was 3 straight games, 3 straight buzzer beater losses to New York, San Antonio, and Atlanta. The Grizz, they've just been going through a rough stretch. I think they're still okay. Now, Jaren Jackson's injury does make it tough for them in the next upcoming weeks. But in a game like this, obviously, yeah, they're beating the Dallas Mavericks, right? The Mavs are just atrocious. They have nothing going on for them. And even with the game being played in Dallas, I think the Grizzlies completely blow this team out. I expect Ja to have a pretty big night. Desmond Bane's been playing all right as well. And I know Zach Edey's not a pure scorer, but man, the Zach Edey Dwight Powell matchup, yeah. Dwight Powell's 6'10". Zach Edey's 7'3", 7'4"? Who's the backup 5 for Dallas with Kai Jones out and PJ Washington out? Kessler Edwards is going to have to play the 5. Najee Marshall? Well, Kessler Edwards is 6'7". Najee Marshall is 6'6". These guys are going to have to guard Zach Edey? Again, Edey's not a pure scorer. Stick his arm up in the air and just put the ball in the basket. Oh, man. It's a tough game for Dallas. I get it. Jaren Jackson's going to be out, but The Grizzlies are going to destroy this Mavericks team. And unfortunately, this is kind of the same message we give you every single night about the Dallas Mavericks. They're just not competitive right now. Memphis goes to Dallas and runs right through the Mavs. We move on to our fourth game of the day, and we go to Miami, Florida, as we have the Miami Heat hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves are back. I think they are. I think Minnesota is going to start, racking up wins. Obviously, they've won 3 in a row now. That big win last Sunday in Phoenix, win over Philadelphia, win over Charlotte. They've won 3 in a row now. I do think the Timberwolves are going to start to go on a little run. I think Minnesota is going to join the top 6 in the West, and I do think the Rockets are going to unfortunately fall into the play-in. I could easily see Minnesota being a 5 seed or a 6 seed going into the Western Conference playoffs this season. Miami, just not confident at all about this team. Yeah, they played Cleveland pretty tough the other night. They still ultimately lost. Bam Adebayo had a monster night, though, against the Cavs, 34-12 for Bam. They beat the Wizards the night before, and 2 nights before, and Bam had 19-15 as well against that Washington team. The Heat are injured, though, too. I mean, so many teams are dealing with injuries right now. Tyler Hero questionable with an illness. Khalil Ware is still out with a knee injury. Jaquez questionable. Andrew Wiggins questionable, and Alec Burks questionable as well. The Timberwolves, they are coming off of their injuries right now. Gobert is their only guy who's still kind of hurt, as Rudy is questionable for this game. We'll see if he plays. But Julius Randle obviously has made his way back in the lineup. Dante DiVincenzo's back as well. And the Timberwolves are just playing really good ball right now. I mean, this team is 6 games over 500. They are currently in the 7th spot in the Western Conference, and I expect them to, again, continue to win basketball games. I really don't care that the game's in Miami. They are on better teams than the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, again, I would like to see Rudy Gobert play this game if we are taking the Timberwolves like we are, obviously, because of the way Adebayo has been playing recently, especially with Khalil Ware out the lineup, right? I mean, you need just one big, ultimately, that's Rudy Gobert, to help the presence that is Adebayo on the other side. So I'd hope Rudy does play. If not, that does create for a mismatch. Obviously, Naz Reid is not a good defensive player, right? I mean, he can shoot it, obviously, and Naz Reid, he'll score for you, but I don't trust Naz Reid to guard Bam Adebayo. So we're really hoping Gobert plays. I know Gobert gets crapped on a lot, but again, one of the best defensive players of all time. He is, honestly. Offensive liability, sure. But Gobert, really good defensive player. He should be able to manage against Adebayo. Let's just hope, again, the Frenchman, Gobert, does give it a go tonight. So I'd wait on this pick and see if Gobert is going to return tonight or not. But if he does play, yes, I really like Minnesota to go into Miami and win, especially with potentially no Tyler Hero, no Andrew Wiggins, and just Adebayo. And especially if Gobert comes back, the Heat are going to be in trouble tonight. Give me the Minnesota Timberwolves to go on the road to Miami, Florida, and take down the Heat. We go on to our 5th game of the day, and we go to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, for the OKC Thunder at home against the Portland Trailblazers. And I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm picking against the Thunder. Yes, I am. I don't know what the Thunder are doing tonight, but they just decided, you know what? Nobody's going to play. I don't know. This is not a second half of a back-to-back. They haven't done this all year long. I think I know why, because they're about to play the Nuggets on both Sunday and Monday, and then Boston the day after, and they want to sweep those 3. I think this is what this is, which I appreciate as a Lakers fan. Hell, don't care if the Thunder lose the Blazers. I just need them to beat the Nuggets in back-to-back nights in OKC. So honestly, I don't really care, and obviously I enjoy watching the Boston Celtics lose. So, you know what? That's cool with me, but OKC's resting everybody. Yes, they're 51-11. They have the 1 seed basically just locked up at this point. They are 11 games ahead of, 10.5 games above the Los Angeles Lakers, who are the number 2 seed in the West right now. So OKC's obviously going to have home court advantage throughout the Western Conference playoffs. But they decided nobody's playing tonight. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, obviously, the main one, not playing. He's out with rest. Shai's healthy. There's no injuries. They're resting him tonight. Okay. Jalen Williams out with a wrist injury. Cason Wallace out due to a knee contusion. Lou Dort out with a knee injury. Isaiah Hartenstein out due to a nasal fracture. Chet Holmgren questionable with a leg injury. If all these guys aren't playing, I doubt Chet does either. So what do the Thunder throw out tonight? Caruso, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins probably at the 3. Kenrick Williams at the 4, and then J-Dub at the 5, Arkansas. Jalen Williams, or as TikTok says, Asian Duke Dennis. That's, what is this bench unit going to be tonight? Adam Flager, Brandon Carlson, Dylan Jones. I don't see it, guys. I just don't see it tonight. AJ Mitchell's been out, obviously. It's just I love OKC, but guys, Portland's playing really well right now. Yeah, they let Peyton Pritchard and Derek White put 40 on them yesterday or 2 nights ago, and they have injuries too, but they should be all right. Denny Adjiva questionable with the quadricep injury. I think he'll play. Jeremy Grant questionable. Yeah, don't really care if he plays. Matisse Thybulle out. Ankle injury. He's been dealing with injuries all year long. Robert Williams out, knee injury. Delano Banton out, personal issues. And Aiden's out for the next month. But still, though, I mean, Anfernee Simons, Kamara, Scoot Henderson, and Shaedon Sharpe are all playing. This team will be okay. I hope Adjiva plays because, we're taking the Blazers. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm taking the Blazers to go to OKC and win. The Thunder are not trying to win tonight, guys. They just aren't. If they win, great, add a bonus. It's not like they're the Jazz and they're trying to lose, but they just don't care about this game. They care about the next 3, though. Denver, Boston. Those are the games they care about. They don't care about this one in the slightest. They're going to probably lose because they don't really have a rotation tonight. They have a 7-man rotation. They're starting again Caruso, Asian Duke Dennis, and it's just like, what are we doing? I'm taking the Portland Trailblazers to go to Oklahoma City and beat the Thunder. I don't mind the bet, actually. I'm not going to say I wouldn't bet it. Yeah, give me Portland plus 105. Plus money for a Blazers team that, guys, is trying to get back in the play-in. We're talking about this too, right? We'll talk about Phoenix, Denver in a second. But Dallas, right, losing to Minnesota tonight. Losing to Memphis. Portland wins. Phoenix potentially loses. All right, the Suns and Trailblazers have basically the same record. And now they're both 3 games out the play-in. And Portland's officially back in it. This game means something to this young Blazers team and Chauncey Billups, who are trying to get into the play-in and just trying to break through. Right? It's a huge spot and a huge opportunity for a team that does not have to play the best player in the league and the best team in the league right now. Give me Portland. They're going to take advantage of this opportunity and beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. We go on now to our next one. We go to Denver, Colorado, as we have the Denver Nuggets hosting the Phoenix Suns. Denver will dominate this basketball game. They just will. They came back from behind, obviously beat the Sacramento Kings a couple days ago. Good on them. Thought Sac was going to get them. It is what it is. Denver ended up coming from behind and winning the game. Good for the Nuggets. They will beat down the Phoenix Suns. Yes, great come from behind victory for the Phoenix Suns the other night against the Los Angeles Clippers. That was great. That's not sustainable, especially against a team like the Nuggets. The Clippers can go ice cold from the field, don't get me wrong. They 100% can. Now, James Harden with 50 the other night was crazy against the Pistons, and we'll get to the Clippers at the end of the video as they take on the Knicks tonight. But it's not a sustainable way of winning if you are the Suns. It's just not, right? They're taking on Denver tonight. Yeah, Denver doesn't play defense, but the Suns don't play defense either, right? We have so many of these teams. They're great offensively, but they just don't play defense. Denver, Indiana, Phoenix, Atlanta, Chicago. Those are the 5. Really, I mean, those are the 5 main culprits. You can put the Wizards there, but the Wizards don't really score that well. So these are the 5 teams, they're great scoring teams, but their defense is just atrocious. That's what they are, right? It's just, and always make this comp, and unfortunately it didn't go our way yesterday for the Pacers in Atlanta, but that was different. Again, Tyrese didn't play, and if Halliburton plays in Atlanta last night, I think the Pacers probably beat the Hawks. But this is what it is. Again, like the Pacers, a healthy Pacers team with Tyrese Halliburton's on a different level of this style of play than the Hawks, and it's the same case that, the Hawks are just better at this style than the Bulls are. And the West, the Nuggets are just better at not playing defense and scoring at will than the Suns are. They just do this better than the Suns do. The Nuggets are just a better version of Phoenix. That's all they are, stylistically. So I expect the Nuggets to dominate this basketball game. Nikola Jokic is questionable. I highly doubt he doesn't play. I'm gonna assume Jokic is gonna give it a go. Phoenix is 4 games under. Bradley Beal is questionable with a calf injury. We'll see if he plays. But regardless of who plays this basketball game, give me Denver. It's a nationally televised game, so actually, yes, Jokic will play. Adam Silver will make sure that Nikola Jokic plays this basketball game. Instead of, them putting De'Aaron Fox's return to Sacramento on national television tonight. But anyways, Denver's going to win this game. Like I said earlier, they play this style better than the Suns do, and that's really all you need to know. KD and Book are great. The rest of the team's not. Give me Denver at home. They're the all-around better basketball team. Jokic and the Nuggets get it done at home, and they cover the 7.5 points as well. We go on to our next one. Obviously, the game of the day. It's in the thumbnail. The Sacramento Kings host the San Antonio Spurs. I've been talking about De'Aaron Fox potentially getting shut down for the season for a while now, And I've always thought, okay, after this game, they might do it. Just because De'Aaron's been playing hurt. He needs the hand surgery, obviously the wrist surgery, regardless what it is. But they've been meaning to, or De'Aaron's been meaning to get surgery. With no Wembanyama, obviously there's no real pathway to the play-in this year for the San Antonio Spurs. That's okay. But yes, De'Aaron will go to Sacramento and make the return game. I'm excited for it. I really am. I do think that the game will be a little anticlimactic. I think, again, De'Aaron's going to have a night. De'Aaron Fox really hasn't had a great game in a while for the Spurs. I mean, he's been, putting up 15, maybe on a good night he'll score 20. De'Aaron hasn't erupted yet, though, for the Spurs, right? I mean, obviously with the Kings, he had that stretch where he scored 60 and 50 in back-to-back nights. I mean, he had 2 games where he scored 109 points in back-to-back days. It was insane, right? He hasn't exploded yet for San Antonio. Partially, that is him on a new team, and at the same time, he's just playing hurt. If there is going to be an explosion, it's going to be tonight, though. 100%. Definitely. The problem with that is De'Aaron can go off, and this team still won't get it together around him. The team's just not very good. And this is the problem that's been happening, obviously, and people have been complaining about and discussing about, the team around Victor Wembanyama is just not very good. And obviously, that's what De'Aaron Fox and ultimately Chris Paul were trying to do by helping this team and joining this team, right? Give Wemby some help. And don't get me wrong, Stephon Castle's a good player. Devin Vassell had a really good game against Brooklyn the other night. But I do think, and Bismack Biyombo has actually been playing decently at the center position as well. But I do think where this team's going to hurt tonight, obviously, is going to be everything around De'Aaron Fox. Because everything tonight is going to be centered around him. But is the rest of the team going to be able to come together and give him support? I don't think so. Yes, the all-around better basketball team is the Sacramento Kings. Even with the injuries that they have, Sabonis out, no Malik Monk, yeah, Sacramento's still better, right? You're probably going to see Markelle Fultz, who's actually been all right for Sacramento this season, or Keon Ellis, whoever they decide to start. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, Jonas Valanciunas, who's been all right. Levine's completely adjusted to Sacramento. He's been playing really good ball. And DeMar DeRozan has been playing fairly well recently, too. I think Sacramento's a dangerous team in the play-in. Are they a dangerous team in the playoffs? Probably not. But I think in the play-in, yeah, they can make some noise. Right now, they're the 9 seed. Right, if the play-in were to start today, they'd play Dallas. They'd obviously win, and they'd definitely get the loser of Timberwolves Clippers, which would probably be Clippers. In a one-game scenario, do the Kings go to Inglewood and beat the Clippers? Probably not. But, maybe they do, right? Maybe. So the Kings are dangerous. They're going to beat the Spurs, and they're going to cover. I'd expect De'Aaron to go off. But again, everything around De'Aaron Fox, I don't entirely like. I wouldn't mind De'Aaron over on points tonight. I feel like, again, he's had so many great games at Golden One in Sacramento. He's played so well, and the fans are probably going to boo him. So I think if De'Aaron's ever going to go off, it's going to be tonight. I don't know what his over-under is, honestly. It probably is pretty low because he hasn't had the best nights. I'm fine with 21.5 if I had to guess. Take De'Aaron's over. I think he scores at least 22. It could be way higher. I don't know. That's if I was Vegas, I'd make the line 21.5 for De'Aaron tonight. So if my line is the actual line, going over on De'Aaron Fox. Let's move on to our final game of the day, and we go to the Intuit Dome, as we've got the Los Angeles Clippers hosting the New York Knicks. So New York, second half of a back-to-back, they gave it their damn all to try to win last night against the Lakers, and now they got to play the Clippers. Jalen Brunson's injury, he rolls his ankle. I don't think it's anything too serious, but I do expect, obviously Brunson not to play tonight. Maybe Brunson to miss a week or something. But I think Jalen Brunson will probably be back for the playoffs. That didn't look season-ending. I hope it wasn't season-ending. The Knicks probably won't beat the Clippers tonight, but I think they can keep this game close. New York and their losses usually do stay relatively competitive. Now, again, they can't beat the elite teams. We've talked about this time in and time out. They literally cannot beat the Cavs, Celtics, or Lakers. They are, 0-6 against those teams this season? And actually, in the Thunder, they're 0-8 against those teams this season. And that's why we can't treat the Knicks as a serious contender, and obviously, they're not a serious contender. They're regular season coded, obviously, and even in big regular season games, they lose. So I think they can keep this game close to the Clippers, just because the Clippers, yes, they look great in the Pistons game, but that was because James Harden scored 50 points. Great on the beer, right? I felt like I was watching prime James Harden watching that game. It was ridiculous because I obviously had the Pistons. It was bad. But anyways, that was exciting. That's the type of effort that the Clippers legitimately need right now to try to win games. Because no Norman Powell, he's out for multiple weeks. Kawhi didn't play that game. We expect Kawhi to play tonight. But that's what happens again with no Norman Powell in the lineup. Yeah, Zubac does his thing, but you can't rely on Zubac to be your leading scorer. So obviously, yes, you are expecting a lot out of James Harden. So that's the type of effort they need to win games outright. Now, I think they'll beat the Knicks because it is the Knicks in the second half of a back-to-back. Again, tired legs. You think they play a lot with Thibodeau in general? Well, now they got to play back-to-backs after an overtime game, right? Anunoby played a great game against the Lakers. Obviously, Jalen Brunson was phenomenal as well. I think it's tough for them to win, but 7.5 points, I think that's too much. I'm going to take the Knicks to cover that. I think this line opened at about 3.5, 4.5, so we have seen this line move since. I don't know, again, if it's going to move by the time this video releases in about 7 hours as I'm recording this. But I do like Knicks on the spread here, plus 7.5. I expect the Clippers to win the basketball game, but New York is a good enough team where they should stay competitive with the Clippers. I know what you're thinking. Oh, they don't beat good teams. Well, elite teams. Well, obviously the Clippers are not an elite team, so, you know. This would be an interesting 7-game series. This will not be the NBA Finals, obviously, but if the Knicks and Clippers played in a 7-game series, who are you taking? I'm probably taking the Clippers, actually. Yeah. I don't think the Knicks are coded to win anything this year, man. They're just not. I don't know. They look good in the second and third quarters against the Lakers, but then when the game was actually on the line, what happened? And now the Brunson injury, it sucks, man. I can't trust the Knicks with anything. But yeah, as I say that, we're taking the Knicks on the spread, plus 7.5 in Inglewood against the Clippers. So folks, that'll do it for our NBA predictions here for Friday, March 7th. If you haven't yet though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow for more NBA predictions with Boston and Los Angeles tomorrow in the Garden. Hey man, just you wait for the Lakers in 5 tomorrow. Anyways folks, thank y'all for watching. Make sure that subscribe button down below for more, and Mamba forever.